December 30, 9:41 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. And with that I say hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney, Pheonix Wright, Justice for All, Episode 3, part... It's not even 4. What part are we in? We had the we had the investigation at the start, we had the 2 trials, then we had another investigation. This is part 5. It says part 4.1, but it's part 5. Oh wait, how am I gonna do that with the naming? I just noticed. Because only in Justice for All do you have like Trial 1, Trial 2, Trial 1, Trial 2. Which does make it a little bit annoying to write or to name my episodes. But anyway, we're back. We had a little bit more of an investigation last time, finding a lot more clues on like what happened, motives, and what happened like 6 months ago, which could have in turn be like a motive for killing Russell, and the accident that could have happened, like what caused it. They think like, oh, Leon is like a mischievous lion. No, he just sneezed. The poor little animal just sneezed because of the pepper on Bat's scarf. Pretty sure. Like this is my theory. Pretty sure it sneezed because of the pepper on the scarf, right? And that made him like chomp down on Bat's head, causing Bat to enter into a coma state, and also had Acro fight Leon to losing his legs and stuff. Well, losing. He lost the feeling of his legs, apparently, because he's in a wheelchair now. I have a theory that also like his legs have healed, but he does not want to walk as long as Bat is in a coma, right? But we'll see. Good morning, Max. Oh yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. Well, I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm walking up to it. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Oh, thank you. Regina. Oh, how fabulous, my sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't, yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to you! Oh, everyone! Let's get ready to get stuck in the legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo? Top of the morning to you, governor? Top of the morning. That is the ticket. Attacking the day starts with ends in the morning. The early birds get the worms, but then again, the worms lack higher brain function. I thought I was gonna say like, but the early worm gets eaten. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thanks. So, how are you doing today? Alright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Oh, be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got the guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. The only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyway, I want you to make sure that Regina sits order today. It is very important. Then she will finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to the court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needed to know that when the people that die, they don't just become stars. I may be old-fashioned or clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Always funny when it's like mode the point of reason. December 30, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. I'd love to see like a layout of every single case and when they happen, right? And how many of those cases are gonna be specifically at the end of December? You know? It's like, I understand everyone's getting into like the holiday feelings, but like stop murdering people in the holiday seasons. It's like also, we had one like in February, I think. There was one in September, I think. And then the other ones I don't remember. Sorry about that. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well then, Miss Hankama. You may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory on events. Oh, what's the meaning of this? We've discovered a new witness, or shall I say a new eyewitness. What? One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Wait, the flying was real? Order! Order! Ha! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to the revision, we are now preparing to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present as if it need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Oh no, Gumshoe! Gumshoe's gonna fly! Very well then, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightropes. Hello. You have even more birdies. Name and occupation. Ken Dingley, but everyone calls me Acro. I am employed as an acrobat of the very big circus. Where were you in the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. Okay. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Oh, already into the witness testimony. That went quick. Acro, it means business, I see. It was just after 10 p.m. I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. And then, a moment later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. Didn't he look into the front when he was explaining it last time? But, never mind. This eyewitness testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that is the case, there is very little prosecution needs to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I would like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness testimony? In the word of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There is no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. What I witnessed. What do we have? Hold it, let's go. Starting in. You said that you were resting in bed. One does assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That is correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. Oh, if that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Oh, wow! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Oh, I heard the thump. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Exactly. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from the outside. I was indeed. Pressing Acro doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradicted in what he just said. I don't think there was anything contradictory, at least not yet. There's this huge contradiction in the testimony that was given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to proceed your claim? The monkey? He must have been sleeping with the monkey, but the monkey didn't make any noises. That's the only thing that I can think of. With the monkey! The monkey! What did you want? Ow! You don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? What did I get? You're not going to be able to get through this one with your usually bluff routine. Your client looks to be ready to take off once again, straight towards a guilty verdict. You're bluffing? I will not make any more mockeries out of this. Oops. Oh. I didn't lose points from that. Interesting. Huh. From last time's trial, being like, oh, you asked a question, points away. To this one being like, oh, you presented something. Nah, it's not that bad. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a very large action figure, or perhaps a bust. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is possible. You have no need to mince your words with Mr. Pheonix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, as just as we were there with you that night. I believe he was a human. I just strengthened his testimony. Just with the facts, there is a contradiction. There is a huge contradiction. Well, prove it. Do you have anything? This guy. Is the bust? What does that have to do with anything? Okay, no, never mind. Nope. There's Max Galactica. I saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Maybe I can do it on the bus there here. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was a person's back, but I couldn't see the white roses. So I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I was clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced also this burst just appeared out of nowhere. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I get. But there's maybe something fishy. Well, nothing, Your Honor. I'll find a clear contradiction. I better not overdo it. When I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? That is not important. I believe that the prosecution has done a little bit of maintenance on the witness memory. Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Ow! Objection. Sustained. Don't sustain that. Acro must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. But now the challenge will be to expose his lies. Put the pedal on the metal. I have an idea. No, it wasn't that. Someone flying right by my window. No, those two don't walk? Huh. What to do? Okay, so the only other one that I can like subject to is this one. Oh wait, I think this is the one where I'm gonna be like, I'm convinced the more I press him. There's a contradiction. In this one I can ask Dad. Prove it with evidence. Do you have anything that provides it? No. Large thud noise. So the thud, I'm pretty sure, is the box falling, right? Or maybe that activates something. But then, like the bust just like swoop up. What could it be? I'm kind of stuck here now again. Okay, that is the contradiction. I had to look that up. I was stuck. And it was like the same like kind of evidence that we had like last time. It just the silk hat was there. You came to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's head, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Oh, where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilium Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing something. What was that? Order! As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? That's a good question. Acro is the real culprit, has a grudge against Max. I think he's the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Of course. Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He's staying rather calm and collected. Are you getting attacked? It's kind of funny. Mr. Diggling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. What? That is true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. Oh, but to do this by accusing me of a murder, of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Just right, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Pheonix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Pheonix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. Like I need the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? I don't think he did. Now then, this must be when we hear the name of this mysterious accomplice. Not this time, Van Karma. Was? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Look at those muscles. You think he needs anyone? Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I'll have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do, and I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed, as usual. Alright then, let's do it. Mr. Pheonix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness's account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I would like you to clear something up for me. When this crime was committed, exactly where was Acro? Over there. It was in his room. It was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What do you say, you're Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering though what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Pheonix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that they saw Max, didn't he? Woo! Flying off! But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? I can't leave my room. I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here, he's right. But I cannot stop now. Also, what did he say? Can't mess up here. I've got to give this one serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster, and they did it while he was in his room. That's no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us how Mr. Dingling committed a crime, Mr. Wright. There's two things that I wanna present, right? Because we got one that is obviously the thing that I've been showing you all the time, the bust. That thing is heavy. There's no way that thing could not do anything, right? And the second being the wooden box. Why was that wooden box there? That's the thing as well. I'm kind of curious on this pose that has got it. It looks almost like the box fell on top of him, right? And then it just slumped over the box. Or something like that. Because that is still 20 pounds might not be that heavy, but it still could hurt and kill someone, right? And it's also super easy for Acro to pick that up. Because mate, have you seen those muscles? I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit a crime against commit a crime of murder against Mr. Russell Berry? The box. I think you should try again before someone else. Okay, you're probably right. This piece of evidence. Stop! Wait, I say, before you start again, you must be penalized. Ignore me. And if you don't put an end to this funny business, I've got more ideas. Okay. How about the bust? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? Yeah, it's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. What? Ah! See, this is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Order! So you're saying that the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? Out of the simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel by a wheelchair with something so heavy? It is impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat, as the name I allude to. You should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro says the laws of wars. It should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from things this time. Ouch! I would watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Pheonix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of this witness is material to this case. I demand that we get the proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? Upon karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There is absolutely no need for such a testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems, however. Let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. The woman will sink in to any low in the case. Just like her big brother and father. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of a bust. I have a strong upper body from walking as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and walking out and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There is no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubt in regard to this witness testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step could have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on this matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. I simply stole and it's shameful, really. Hey, can't let it get to me. Have to focus. You're stalling too. Oh well. I lost some HP, but like that's fine. I can continue simply like that. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. I bet I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? The crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? Did it? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. Did you use money for this? It is quite shiny, that's true. Well, I guess we'll see. What have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Pheonix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick. Whoa! How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. That is... What the... Wait, what? I sure hope you mean the gay kind of bear. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I would end up falling out of the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bus out of the window? There is no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bus, they could not be able to see out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bus, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there is no way that I could know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey, Nick, yeah? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. What? If you knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then I could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow the box that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. The thud. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there is no way that I could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how could he have aimed for the ringmaster's head? I wonder if it use some kind of tool. Let's take it, Nick. Show them what you've got. I've got to be careful. I have to find something that fits. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool, but maybe we overlooked something. I feel like it is in this one, right? The fourth one. Or the fifth one, rather. It makes it impossible for me to load the location. It's either the wood... Well, it's either money or the wooden box. Yes! Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of the time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I might add. You silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Enough stalling! How about you show us some hard evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. Oh, is it a photo of his thingy? Yeah. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was... Oh, the same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box there? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they couldn't see him holding the box. Which means that the wooden box was already placed on the scene of the crime. Oh, I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up the wooden box. Which means that the answer to all those questions is now crystal clear. You mean the butt burst were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box? There would be no way that they could miss the head of the victim. No. Order. Well, this is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? Ooh, it was Mr. Dingling, of course. Oh, he connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Ouch. The ringmaster's head would have been anywhere when he lifted the box. And that's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed, it had the most peculiar feature. The weight? Because it is heavy. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift off this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see! One would have to squat down, then lift it with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handle on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift out the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head will be in approximately the same place. Fool! Did you just tell him to attack me again? Okay, no. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. Hmm? I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Yo, did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright might have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I do. Of course I remember, it was on top of the table of the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? Oh, I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how could I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You just told us. You told us earlier before. You see, Mr. Pheonix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Tell us exactly how the Venus would have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here, but this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the Venus get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he sold the ventriloquist ring. So are you saying the Venus had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some nice cards she's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Oh, whoa! That is extremely shiny. Okay, yeah. Oh, Acro. Money's a strong monkey, right? And you just told us earlier before. It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that myself, I'll be on the market for a new roommate. Order! I said order! Where's Frank Karma? Where is the bus in question at the moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. That is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey has not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as a murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Well, anyway, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a little bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water, and there's no denying that. Ouch! Doesn't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Pheonix Wright. And what is that? You should know. The motive. You forgot that your fraud is of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. Well, that's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? It looked like the bust. What do you mean? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Pheonix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? He saw Max's bust. Ouch! I ask who the other person the most saw on the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with the question. En contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that they saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. Oh, what are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Also, I want to see something. Yeah, okay. The bust does not have a cloak. It would be easy to hang one off on the cards of the bust's hand. Idiot who in their right mind would put a cloak on the bust. It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Max would. Just give me a moment now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Like, I feel like either Regina or Max would do that. That question is of utmost importance to the case, don't you agree? Though, caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Russell. No. Russell. There's either like Russell, Regina, or Max. That's the thing that's like... Oh, who? I wonder, Mr. Wright, didn't the defendant wear his clothes the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well, how could this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. You're telling me that the, What? When she's so nice about things I'm wrong, it hurts even more. Ouch. The famous Funkama carrot and whip approach. Was it then Russell Berry? Fool! Him? Okay, it was him. I'm gonna go ahead and load, because I don't want to lose my 3 points there. I was thinking like it was either Max, Regina, or Russell. Right? But like, Max for being like, oh, I am so fabulous. I need to put my bust even more fabulous by putting in my cloak on it. Regina would be just like playing around, and Russell, well, he had the cloak on. So it makes sense as well to be him. Fool, him? You're saying was a victim himself, Russell Berry? That is what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Next, do you really have a handle on all of that? I guess we'll see. Because I am on the right path. I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyway. Alright, do you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step it back then. Let's step back in time. Acro used the rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene, and then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. And just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging room, but none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo Quist. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happened. The very instant that the bust hit the victim. Amazing. You just waited there a second, Mr. Pheonix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this cannot be true. It cannot be. It's still very early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. The circus isn't over yet. Was? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused the sound of a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out of the window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of the window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. Whee! And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be. Amazing. So you see, the only person could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could have only been you. It is so much scarier when a witness slash murderer is so calm. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. It sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? So you've placed us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Well, don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution does bring up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. Well, I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method, but there is still something about Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Oh, okay then. Use that and get us out of this jam. Alright, enough talking amongst yourselves, Mr. Wright. And Maya, proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claim. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. The fact that we are missing the bust. The silk hat. We have the silk hat, but we don't have the bust. It's three symbols, right? The problem is Max has three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday there were two contradictions in Moe's testimony. The silk hat was one, and the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of those contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There is only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust's. Oh, makes sense. If you look at it that way, they'd see the silk hat. Well, sort of. The bronze hat, you might say. Fine, you got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that they witnessed white roses on Max's chest. That they witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Yeah. Of course I can explain all of that. But first, please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bus, what happened to the white roses? They're on the other side. Did you get it now? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Or inside of the bust rather. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! Order! Well, this is quite a shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Maybe Von Kammer will finally throw in the towel. They look too calm. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, a little bit, I guess. But was there something making you think I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of that. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I would like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubt that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive, huh? I think that this case isn't over yet. Very well then, however, I feel like this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Oh, okay. Didn't expect that. To be like one witness taking two trials, right? But I guess that's kind of good. Because the episode has been getting quite long. It does also feel like this is going to be the last part of the case, so that's kind of nice. I almost thought I was going to get like another another investigation and trials. Sorry about that. But yeah, there you go. We have gotten to the end, which is really cool. So then, everyone, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I got stuck hard at the end, the beginning there. I did not expect that. Like, that hat is like such an annoying little thing. It's like, oh yes, what about the hat? You were talking, you saw the hat, but the hat was there, and it's like, of course. How could I forget? How could I forget that the hat was there? But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.